Good evening everyone and welcome to another of Quizical's Guides 2 with me, Qwizical, and today we are looking at bingo spotting, or bonus spotting depending on which country you live in, but bingo spotting gives me the best thumbnail to use, so I'm using it. Now, one of the things that I myself had particular problems with when I started playing Scrabble was trying to find the bonuses. I didn't know how to find them, and I was lucky if I got one a game, basically. But hopefully this video is gonna help you guys work out how to find bonuses better, but only the simple ones. I'm not going to go into detail about how to find the more complicated ones. It's up to you to learn those. But let's have a look at a rack that I have set up. So here's an example rack. It's a pretty common rack. I'm gonna put it out there. It's really common. But how do we start by trying to find bonuses on this rack? Now, what you want to make bonuses are the most common letters, because the most common letters will always lead to bonuses. But, you know, that's just too much to think about. 7 letters, it's like a lot to rearrange in your head and stuff. So, one of the best places to start is with prefixes or suffixes, or common endings and common beginnings, depending on how you're going to go about it. So you got the 5-letter word stay in here. You can put an ed on the end, you know, the suffix ed is really useful. You've also got the ing ending, you've got seating, you've got the ier ending of answer, IER. What else is there? There's like words that begin like EN, words that begin IN, words that end in say ION, words that end in, oh, we've done that one already, EST, IEST. I mean, there are literally so many common endings and common beginnings that you can go through. But if you actually seek out those common beginnings and common endings, you're going to have less to deal with on your rack to try and find those bonuses with. And what I mean is, when you look at 7 letters, it can be hard to put them in loads and loads of different places to try and find these words. But if you're actually looking, you know, if you're actually like, right, I want a word that ends in IES, so I've only got to deal with the A, the N, the T and the blank now. Okay, so in the English language, what order do these letters typically go in? Well, the N and T go really well together, so the word can end like this, and maybe the A can go before the N and the T because a vowel needs to be there. So then you've got blank, ANTIES, and then all you've got to do is think about what to make the blank. And it's important to know that the blank is not going to be a vowel in this case. So immediately you can cross off some letters on your list. Now, ideally, I would always say start with the blank being an S or an E if you don't have either of those letters on your rack, and then perhaps go through the alphabet from there, or maybe go for the really common letters first, such as the L or the R. Neither of those go here. The example would be a P for panties. Let's get the panties on the board and stuff. But yeah, there are absolutely tons of bonuses with this rack. But the thing you'll notice is that this rack is Tysane +1. And this is what we call a stem for learning words. And what it is, it's just a really common 6-letter word that goes with a lot of different letters to make a 7. And it's something that when you're starting off, you're going to learn these because you're going to get these letters on your rack most often, and if you don't know them, you know, you'll probably end up getting them and be like, why didn't I learn this? So Tysane is one of the stems you'll learn. Retain is another. Oterine is another kind of, it's an 8-letter stem. But there are loads of stems out there. I'm not going to list them all. But you really got to think about all these different things for bonuses. You've got the stems, you've got the endings, but also what you're going to make that blank as well. What you make that blank is really important. So let's see if we could go for the quick summary now. Ta-da! Point number 1. Know your bonuses. I cannot stress this enough that you actually need to study your bonuses. Because if you don't know the bonuses, you're not going to be able to play them. So even if you're just learning the really basic ones, it's a good start. And I'm not going to object to you doing that. Because I didn't do that. Second point, common prefixes and suffixes, or common beginnings and endings. What these do is lessen the amount you need to anagram in your head. So if you know your word needs to end in ing, you've only got then 4 or 5 letters to play with, depending on whether you're making a floater or not, playing through a floater or not. And this makes it a lot easier to anagram. You're more likely to know your 4s and 5s, hopefully. And you're more likely to be able to see them much easier than if you're trying to anagram at 7 or 8 tiles in your head. Stems are really important. Retain, Tysane, Senior, etc. Those are just the 6-letter stems. There are 7-letter stems as well. These have the most common bonuses associated with them. And to be fair, if you don't know them, get learning. Point number 4, blank designation. As I explained, firstly, I like to say make the blank an S or an E, typically when you don't have either of those letters on your rack. So when you think about what you're designating the blank, start with the letters it's most likely to be that also don't duplicate your rack. For example, if you're looking for a bonus and there's a Q on your rack and you've got no U, make the blank a U first. And then if you can't do that, go through the rest of the alphabet. But usually Q racks aren't a good example. But also if you've got like the Tysane rack I showed you, making the blank an R is going to be your first thought, because retains is one of the best racks out there. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, hopefully you learned something. It's really brief, but I hope you will join me next time for more of Qwizical's guides.